sent me one final report. She's on her way to Weishaupt.
Alright.
As for the Grey Wardens, they are fighting demons and Red Templars while staying clear of Venatori.
Okay.
You dealt Corypheus a significant blow, Inquisitor.
Well, why don't we try to capitalize on this?
The Grey Wardens carry respect in other nations. If we spread the word that the Inquisition has their support...
We may gain standing with nations that have suffered under the Blight. I will take the matter to Josephine. You took an army from Corypheus, but that will matter little if Orlais falls into chaos. All arrangements have been made for the ball in Halam Shiral. Let us know when you are ready to proceed.
Alright. So, what are we doing there exactly?
Remind me what we know about the plot against Selene.
The Venatori are planning some kind of attack on the Imperial Court. Corypheus may even be fueling the conflict between the Empress and her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard. If we warn Selene, she may prove a most valuable ally against Corypheus.
I see. Well, there's still a couple of things I have to do first.
I'll go as soon as I am able.
Good. Cullen, Josephine and I will discuss the best way to gain an audience with the Empress. Speak with us when you are ready.
Alright.
What was she like?
Oh.
Divine Justinia, or her soul, or the spirit that took her form. I read your report. I know it isn't clear, but...
Well...
She refused to say anything outright. I could have used more direct answers and fewer journeys of self-discovery.
She made a lot of people feel that way.
She did ask me to tell you something, though. She said, "I'm sorry. I failed you too."
Oh. I should finish this before it slips my mind. Perhaps later we might discuss the matter further. Thank you.
Impressive, is it not? Fit for a leader, meant to show influence and the burden of it. It is where the Inquisition will sit in judgment. Where you will sit in judgment.
You're saying we're gonna be executing people here?
Will we be taking heads right here in the hall?
Goodness, no! If such an option is available, it will be done elsewhere.
Oh.
And it may not be necessary. The Inquisition's sovereignty is derived from the allies who validate it. You are both empowered and bound. Justice has many tools. If their application is clever, execution may even seem merciful by comparison.
Well, what are we waiting for then? Let us begin.
Is there anyone I should judge?
Take the throne when you're ready. We will bring him before you. Adamant's influence continues, your worship. I submit Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, who remains loyal to Corypheus. We found him alive, offering extreme resistance, likely because the Order will ask for his head. In more colorful terms. To say nothing of justice you might personally require for what was suffered in the Fade.
Alright. A grim and serious matter.
Many places felt the pain of adamant. You will answer for a great deal.
I recognize none of this proceeding. You have no authority to judge me.
On the contrary, many officials have communicated that they will defer to the Inquisitor on this matter.
Because they fear. Not just Corypheus, but Tevinter, rightful ruler of every piece of ground you trod in your pathetic life.
Uh-huh.
I serve a living god. Bring down your blades and free me from the physical. Glory awaits me.
Well, when you offer yourself like that, how can I say no? But regardless, I'm gonna say no.
Although willing, there is a group you have wronged more than any. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium. The Wardens can have you. Let them take your head if they want it.
Their petty justice or yours, it matters not. Truth lies in the next world.
Alright, well, good luck with that.
Another of the lingering pains of adamant, your worship. Sir Ruth is a senior warden of the Order. She was one of the many who slit the throat of another to bind a demon. She does not contest this. In fact, she surrendered to us. She requests no mercy. She wants the public justice of the headman's axe.
Not a request made lightly.
You're very serious about this. Is more death the answer?
There is no excuse for my actions. I murdered another of the Order. That blood marks me more than the Blight ever could.
Accepting their actions while thralls of Corypheus, many treaties allow wardens any extreme if it opposes the Blight.
I can't do it. I can't use the greater good to justify my crimes, as if it would create a future I could be a part of. It is wrong that this broke me. I've done worse with full sanction. I can do nothing except be an example of the cost.
Well, an example you shall be.
You feel your life is over? There's a place for such wardens. Sir Ruth, you'll go to the deep roads. Your death may be as quick as you choose.
This sends no message. This is just an end.
It's what you wanted, isn't it? Get out of my sight, woman.
This was a surprise. After you return from the bogs, we discovered this man attacking the building with a goat. Chief Movran the Under. He feels slighted by the killing of his Avar tribesmen, who repeatedly attacked you first. What should we do with him? Where should he go?
You're serious. He attacked our hold with a goat.
You answered the death of your clan with a goat?
A courtroom? Unnecessary. You killed my idiot son, and I answered, as is my custom, by smacking your holdings with goat's blood.
Right.
Don't look at me.
No foul. He meant to murder Tevinters, but got feisty with your Inquisition. A red-headed mother guarantees a brat. Do as you've earned, Inquisitor. My clan yields. My remaining boys have brains still in their heads.
I see. Well, if you still want to fight Tevinter, then you can have it.
It seems our conflict was accidental, Chief Movran, but it can't be repeated. I banish you and your clan, with as many weapons as you can carry, to Tevinter.
My idiot boy got us something after all.
I guess he did. Good luck, Chief.
Mayor Gregory Dedrick of Crestwood is present for betraying his own constituents. He confesses that, 10 years ago, he flooded Old Crestwood to kill refugees and villagers touched by the Blight. The mayor claims it was to spare the rest of Crestwood, but we only have his word.
Well, it's a severe crime either way.
What he did can't be overlooked, no matter the motive.
There's no cure for the Blight. But I couldn't convince anyone to leave a sick child or husband behind.
So you herded the infected into one place and flooded Old Crestwood. Were no innocents caught in the waters?
Nearly everyone in the village had the Blight. I swear it. Have mercy. I couldn't tell the survivors I'd drowned their own families to save them. I couldn't.
Do you want to go to Ferelden jail? Or do you want to go to the Grey Wardens? Because I'm thinking... you couldn't tell who had the blight and who didn't. And I'm thinking, I send you to the Grey Wardens and they give you a proper education. Or you can just rot in a dungeon. You know what? I'll have you educated first. The Grey Wardens will have you.
The blight was your undoing. Let it also be your means of redemption. I give you to our allies in the Grey Wardens, to fight Darkspawn until the calling takes you.
I don't deserve the honor, Your Worship, but I'll do my best.
That's up to you.
You recall Gerion Alexius of the Winter. Ferelden has given him to us as an acknowledgement of your aid. The
I
formal
see.
charges are apostasy, attempted enslavement, and attempted assassination on your own life, no less. The Winter has disowned and stripped him of his rank. You may judge the former Magister as you see fit.
Well, this has been a long time coming, Alexius.
After what he's done, it's time someone did.
I couldn't save my son. Do you think my fate matters to me?
Will you offer nothing more in your defense?
You've won nothing. The people you saved, the acclaim you've gathered. You'll lose it all in the storm to come. Render your judgment, Inquisitor.
As you wish.
Your magic was theoretically impossible, Alexius. I could use people like you. Your sentence is to serve, under guard, as a researcher on all things magical for the Inquisition.
No execution. Very well.
Not today, I'm afraid.
And what else did Lady Forsythia say?
That she'd rather drown herself than help the Inquisition.
Anything else?
She said she'd have us flogged alive if we allied with her brother.
That does sound like her.
Cheer up, Josie. We at least have her attention.
You always do find the brighter side of things.
Alright.
We are in the midst of cementing an alliance with Lady Forsythia of Nevada, Your Worship. It's
Who?
become a somewhat delicate task.
Really? Is there something I can do to help with that?
Can I do anything to help negotiations?
Thank you, but I believe I have matters in hand. I dissuaded her from sending soldiers when she learned we'd struck an accord with a brother she's feuding with. Lady Forsythia simply employs a colorful manner of speech.
Right. Sure.
You're rather good-natured about threats of death and dismemberment.
They are chiefly bluster, Inquisitor. Most of them. But I confess I do miss my staff from the embassy in Antiva. It was always useful to discuss the day's visitors with them.
Well, I'm here. You can discuss them with me.
I have time, if you'd like to review things with me.
I wouldn't wish to impose.
If it were imposed...
That's alright.
Well, I admit there are a few potential alliances it would be good to discuss.
Alright.
Right on the parlor floor, in front of everyone at the soiree. Who does such a thing in front of their guests?
The Duke of Kellington, apparently.
And then there's Cole's lurking. It frightens our guests half to death. Lord Jennar still won't respond to our letters. And Sarah, can she not find a single overshirt with that mustard stains on it? Then there's Dorian. The man refuses to take anything seriously unless it suits his whim. Not to mention... Oh goodness. Have we been here an hour already?
Almost two, I think.
2.5 hours, I think. But
No.
it's counting.
Oh, dear. I didn't intend to go on for so long. You must think me quite the gossip.
Hey, you know, we all need a break sometimes, right?
You've been working continually since I met you, Josephine.
And that can't stop. I must be going. But I leave feeling less troubled than I have in weeks.
I knew Stroud, you know, not well. He saved Hawke's little sister from the Blight.
Alright.
Not many people knew who he was, but the man was a hero when it mattered. He wasn't the first good man to fall to Corypheus. He won't be the last. This story's no good for heroes.
Well, hey, at least your friend Hawk survived, right?
You must be glad that Hawke made it back in one piece.
Yeah, closest thing I've ever seen to a miracle there. Hawke asked me to tell everyone back in Kirkwall where she's going. I should let Bethany know what's going on. I'd better write some letters. Excuse me.
Inquisitor, is it true? Is the mark
Oh.
on your hand magic cast by Corypheus?
Corypheus claims
Yeah.
it's gone wrong.
I wanted to think it was a blessing. A sign the Maker was returning to his creation.
No. It's alright. It's just some old I mean, it's just some old magic. Probably Tevinter magic.
The anchor's nothing more
Not
special.
Elven. Why would it be Elven?
At least you had the good fortune to take it from Corypheus. Does it?
Yeah.
The anchor, that is.
Well,
Only when
only when I laugh.
Very good, Inquisitor.
Say it. We fighting a losing battle?
battling the demons of paperwork. That's a fight nobody walks away from clean.
You have no idea the number of times I've almost been killed by bills of lading. I've been meaning to come talk to you anyhow. I
Oh.
never officially joined the Inquisition. I don't know how to do this disciplehood thing. I'm a businessman. Never really followed a chosen one before.
Well, I don't really need a disciple. You could just be my friend, Varric.
I don't need a disciple. I need a friend.
If
Exactly.
you knew how intimidating you are, you wouldn't make it sound so simple. You just don't know what you are to the people out there. The Herald of Andraste is a symbol bigger than any of us.
Really? Is that really what you think?
What am I to you then?
None of this shit makes any sense to me. Is this the end of the world? Did Andraste send you through the breach? I have no idea. You heard the crowd singing after Haven was attacked?
Yeah, but I'm still a person.
Whatever I am to Thetis, I'm still just an ordinary person.
So, just a regular person, like anybody else. Right. I
Yeah.
should probably get back to work. Unless, you up for a game of Wicked Grace?
Sure.
A situation requires your attention, Inquisitor.
Oh?
Noble Chantry loyalists in the city of Jadar are spreading accusations that you're responsible for the Divine's death. They're unusually
Okay.
organized. I recommend we send people to Jadar to deal with the matter.
Why are they so interested all of a sudden?
What does the nobility gain by saying I murdered Justinia?
A scapegoat to begin with, but I wonder if the Grand Clerics are at work. Those immediately eligible to be divine died at the Conclave. The ones remaining were not as favored. They may look upon you as a rival for influence.
Do you think they can be reasoned with?
Will anyone even believe me if I claim I didn't kill the Divine?
Perhaps if they learn about your heroics. We should emphasize how you stopped the breach devouring the sky. Even in Jadar, it may win you a few admirers.
Alright. Let's send some diplomats. let's try to solve this issue with diplomacy.
Let's send some ambassadors to convince Jader I'm not a monster in disguise.
Excellent. I believe there's much to be gained by winning them over.
Great.
I cannot believe the Grey Wardens could even conceive of such a plan. To seek out these old gods deliberately in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
Gotta remember, Solus. The Grey Wardens, you know, Darkspawn it's the only thing they think about. They obsess over them.
Grey Wardens have always been dangerous. They care for nothing beyond stopping the Darkspawn.
Like
Well,
a maiden chasing a butterfly off a cliff.
I didn't mean it like that,
If
but
you hadn't stopped them, we'd all have fallen. Those fools and duty. Responsibility is not expertise. Action is not inherently superior to inaction. Forgive me. The entire idea is unnerving.
right.
We've an interesting development, Inquisitor. A
Oh?
petition from citizens of Val Royeaux. They wish to know what Andraste said to you in the Fade.
They think she spoke to me?
Even Leliana can't trace the rumor's origin. It may be expedient to respond to those asking for Andraste's words.
But it wasn't Andraste that I saw.
It's not Andraste who saved me.
Few people outside Skyhold know it was Divine Justinia who delivered you from the Fade. You could attempt to tell Val Royeaux citizens the truth, though it may not be as inspiring as they hope.
Just give them the same old crap.
Tell these petitioners, Andraste said she cares for us always, as she walks by the Maker's side.
A fine sentiment. We will have it proclaimed in Val Royeaux.
Alright.
You have remarkably little here on early Tevinter history.
Well,
All these gifts to the Inquisition, and the best they can do is the Malefica Imperio. Trite propaganda. But if you want 20 volumes on whether Divine Galatea took a shit on Sunday, this is evidently the place to find it.
are you looking for something specific?
If I knew what you were looking for, I could help you.
You? I rather doubt that.
Uh.
I apologize. That was unworthy. Did I see something by Genitivi here? I could have sworn.
What is this about, Dorian?
When everyone returned, they told us about your tumble into the Abyssal Rift. You went into the Fade. Physically went in. Are you
Yeah.
all right?
Well, wasn't exactly a vacation.
It was like walking in a nightmare, but everything was real. I couldn't...
The Fade is an ordeal under normal circumstances. To be the only real thing there, beyond description. That you made it out at all is a miracle. You do realize this feat hasn't been performed in over 1,000 years. Corypheus and
Right.
his contemporaries entered the Fade and began the Blights. In comparison,
So you're saying I should be proud?
So I should be happy I accomplished something so grand?
concerned, more like. If you can walk in the Fade, others will try to follow. Who knows what secrets Corypheus has revealed? Not all of them will be as lucky as you. What they could unleash. My advice? Keep this quiet. Let them speculate. Too many will see this as a challenge.
Fair enough. What about you, though?
You don't number among them.
It's tempting, but I'm no fool. There are enough idiots in the world who think if they just use enough blood magic, their problems will vanish. It's exactly the sort of thing I want to stop back home. This I don't need. What I do need is a copy of the Liberalum. I'll wager I can find Corypheus's real name. If I can prove he was a grasping ankle-biter with no family to speak of, the luster would come right off. Wish me luck.
Yes?
Josephine. So, I have some more personal questions for you. Um, Tell me about Antiva. Who's in charge of Antiva?
Who rules Antiva?
Officially, the Principality of Antiva is governed by His Majesty King Fugelno II. In reality, Antiva's merchant princes rule the country in everything but name. Quite loudly, I might add.
Is that first-hand experience I'm picking up?
What sort of dealings did you have with these merchant families?
As ambassador, I attended Privy Council meetings in a mediatory capacity. May I just say, one has never heard an argument until they've sat in on 15 princes howling down each other's tariff suggestions.
So how does anything get done?
That sounds more like a mob than a meeting.
It's all a part of life in Antiva. Our traditions value passion and romance. A certain exuberance of style.
Well, you're not very exuberant.
Are you positive you're Antivan?
I can be most exuberant when it's called for. Just
I see.
at the right moments. And in a proper fashion. Might we speak of something else?
Sure,
What's the land like in Antiva?
The settled areas are quite lush. The vineyards run as far as the eye can see in some places. Antiva City, however, perches right up against the Rialto Bay. That's what I miss most. The sea crashing against the maze of the docks.
so you spent time there?
I have difficulty seeing you wandering around a trading port.
Everyone in Antiva City spends time by the ships, my lord. The finest
Right.
restaurants and poets all make their habitation by the sea. The waterfronts never still. Lanterns are lit along the promenade no matter what the weather.
Do you ever miss Antiva?
Are you ever homesick?
Occasionally. When a breeze stirs the trees in the garden, I sometimes pretend it's the sound of the surf. Do you know, I even miss those terrible squawking birds infesting the harbor. My youngest sister used to throw whole loaves of bread to the gulls. Silly thing.
We could probably bring them in here for you if you want. So, where did you grow up?
Where were you raised, Josephine?
I was born in Antiva City, but when I turned 15, Mother declared I'd attend finishing school in Valroyo. But I bawled into her skirts the day I had to leave.
That must have been sad.
You must have missed her terribly.
I did. And she was most unsympathetic to my wailing. But my mother only wanted the best for me. Living in Orlais was an education in itself.
So, what was the school like?
What did you learn at this finishing school in Valroyo?
Among other things, mathematics, rhetoric, poetry, history, logic, and a great deal of etiquette. I still remember Madame Beventir's switch on my knuckles when I forgot the basic tenets of Nevaran dining customs. For a dowager approaching her 80th year, she had quite the arm.
And what do you think of Orlais?
How did the younger you like Valroyo when you arrived?
Have you ever stepped into a new city and felt the buildings couldn't possibly be real? That was Valroyo to me. So beautifully foreign. I gaped at its spires for months.
You don't have spires in Antiva?
Does Antiva City have nothing that compares to Valroyo?
Antiva City is a jewel among the capitals.
Right.
I did not appreciate that before I traveled. There are
Oh.
multitudes of places I'd like to see. Seheran, the Anderfels, whatever lies past the Amaranthine Ocean.
So, what's your family like?
Tell me about the Montiliers.
Well, my parents are alive and in good health. They live in our estate in Antiva City. Of my 4 siblings, most attend to the running of the family vineyards. That reminds me, I must ask someone to make sure Yvette attends the spring reception at the palace. My youngest sister has no head for social engagements.
So why are you arranging it?
Why are you overseeing your siblings' social lives?
It's Antivan custom. After a certain age, the heir apparent runs the family's estates to prove they're worthy of succession. If you're unfit for the task, the heads of the house, usually one's parents, may decree a new heir.
Interesting. Then what do the heads do?
What do these Antivan heads of the household do if they don't run it?
They work and provide guidance. I've taken advice from my parents. Well, mostly mother. Father's more of an artist. It's rather gauche, but we never can dissuade him from running his own salons. Between him and my siblings, mother's looking forward to my taking over the estate.
So not only... So are you telling me that you're not only overseeing the entire diplomatic council of the Inquisition, but you're also overseeing your own family estate? Your own family wealth or whatever? Where do you find the time?
Can you run your family's business and be the Inquisition's ambassador?
I won't let it interfere with the quality of my work for the Inquisition, I assure you. But managing the estate is my duty. As much work as it is, I will not shirk it.
You sound very determined, Josephine.
Is running your family's estate that important to you?
I'm responsible for their welfare. A Montilier never shuns their familial duty. Taxing.
Right.
Those duties can sometimes be.
Maybe your family can help?
Maybe your siblings could help lighten your burden.
You don't know them. But Lorien in charge, or Antoine, or Yvette? No, truly. It must be me.
Alright, so what of your family fortune? How much are we talking here?
You said the Montiliers used to run an entire trading fleet. What happened?
There was a scandal in Val Royaux more than an age ago. The Montiliers were forbidden from trading with Orlais. Our personal fortunes never quite rebounded.
A whole age ago? So we're talking Blessed Age or what was the age before that? The Exalted Age?
Does anyone in Orlais even remember what that scandal was?
I doubt it, but the injunction persists.
What exactly happened?
An affair with a minor lord. Perhaps. Most other details are lost.
Wait, so you don't even know? You don't even know about the scandal that brought your family down?
Are you saying your family's livelihood was ruined because of a love affair no one even remembers?
Essentially. Orlesian politics are full of these unhappy little missteps, Inquisitor.
Right, I'm sure. Sounds like a whole lot of fun. So what's your past with Liliana?
You haven't really gone into detail about how you know Liliana.
We met... let me think. We met the last few years of my schooling, but we became friends after I became ambassador to Orlais. It seems terrifyingly long ago now.
So what prompted the reunion?
How exactly did you and Liliana reconnect in the Inquisition?
I discovered my family had been overcharging a merchant we traded with for months. Our name carries a great deal of trust in Antiva. I spent weeks arranging a string of favors as suitable recompense. Apparently satisfied, the merchant extended me an invitation to her estate. Liliana greeted me in place of the merchant.
I see. Clever girl.
I assume the entire problem was some form of trial.
You assume correctly. Liliana claimed she needed someone of painful integrity for the Inquisition. I accepted, once she finally explained what it was.
So are you still friends?
Do you remain close?
Yes, but she's grown so much more distant than the outgoing woman I met in Val Royaux. Liliana used to wander the Orlesian courts, singing the sweetest songs, charming the greatest wits. Now
really?
She makes secrets and takes risks that would make empires tremble. I worry, but she will not hear it.
You talk often then?
Does Liliana confide in you?
She enjoys revisiting our more disastrous adventures, Leliana used to concoct the most ridiculous plans. Run, you
Oh, yeah?
see her with a twine ball, a measuring stick, and a handkerchief.
Oh. Right. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Josephine.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
See it.
You walked physically through the Fade. Please tell me what you remember.
Well, it was like walking in a nightmare, except everything was real. I saw the divine. I saw my past. I saw a lot of things.
Echoes of what happened to me the first time. The divine was there, or something like her.
Manifestations of your own mind, perhaps? Or external memories awakened by your presence? I suppose there's no way to tell. No one else has physically entered the Fade since the Magisters assaulted the Golden City. Oh, I'm positively envious right now.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
What was your circle life like?
What was it like to live in a circle?
My dear, your question is the root of all problems with mages. I cannot tell you. Every circle was different. Their Templars were different, their politics unique. And every person within each tower had an experience of circle life unique to themselves. Some people suffered and some were content. Some were cruel, some compassionate, and some indifferent. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
So what was your experience like?
So, tell me about your personal experience with the circle.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, my dear. It was an edifice devoted to knowledge and refinement. And mages need the company of other mages. No one else can truly understand the challenges we face, nor see the world as we do.
No, of course not. So is confinement hard for you?
You must have been under constant supervision being forced by Templars to live in the tower. Was that hard to endure?
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. I've never been forced to live anywhere. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower, either on their own or in service to the nobility. All that was required was permission from the first enchanter. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst, but it was the exception. Most were quite permissive. Perhaps too permissive in retrospect.
Yeah, so about that. How did the rebellion start?
How did we come to this state where the circle's in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
I see. So do you think it was justified?
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
I see. Do you know Fiona?
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage,
Right.
she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people. We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Right. So, what's this about mages fighting mages?
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
I see. Say it.
A pleasure.
So, Josephine, how are you always so polite?
How do you stay so civil with everyone, Josephine?
Bonds of circumstance among the nobility are fickle. Civility is the only constant everyone admires. And I do deplore rudeness in those who know better.
But doesn't it get tiresome?
Does it even become a strain sometimes?
Well, it can be trying. There is no shortage of self-regard among the nobility. The game can be wearying, discouraging, and extremely painful. But honestly, I'd miss meeting people. I've made the most fascinating friends.
Well, I'm glad you have.
Better than making piles of interesting enemies.
I've had both, sometimes depending on which way the wind has been blowing at the time. But worth it, all in all, I think.
Fair enough.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Say it.
Yes?
So, tell me about the circle.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
Wasn't the circle disbanded?
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear. And an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
I see. So, shouldn't you replace Fiona?
If you lead all the loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter?
Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now. When the circles are restored, that will change.
I see. Tell me about the Templars.
You must have an opinion of the Templars after living so long in this circle.
Having opinions about Templars, my dear, is exactly like having opinions about mages or Navarrans or men. I have known some who are impossible to endure and some who are utterly charming. I have suffered insults at the hands of those in the armor, but no more than I endured from nobles or tradesmen in Val Royal. Personally, I have found the Templars a useful tool, skilled at keeping more unpleasant elements at bay.
I see. Goodbye.
Inquisitor. I have been thinking. You remember everything now, yes? The explosion at Haven, the Fade, escaping the breach. In your report,
Yeah.
you said Justinia was with you. But only you emerged in the end. Why?
Right.
Why were you the only survivor?
It's because she saved me.
She knew it was either her or me. And she wanted me to live.
Of course. Of course she did. That's just like her. Her message to me. I failed you too. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Did she say anything else? Anything at all? Please, if you remember.
I'm sorry, Liliana, but no.
I'm sorry, Liliana. That was it.
There are no answers in the Fade. Only illusions. A warped mirror. Justinia has never failed me. I was her left hand. Now she's dead. I failed her.
Writing does not come naturally to me, as I'm certain you can imagine.
You're trying to start your own book series?
Trying to outdo Varric's next literary masterpiece?
I haven't his talent for blather. As if written by a dim-witted child.
I'm sure it's not that bad.
Historians will one day ask what happened at Adamant Fortress, in the Fade. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. It must be recorded.
Sure. Why not?
That's an excellent idea, Cassandra.
I certainly thought so, until I started writing.
And? What happened?
I still don't know what to say about the spirit of the divine.
Oh.
I saw her there, heard her voice, yet I cannot claim with certainty it was really her. The Chantry teaches us that the souls of the dead pass through the Fade, so it could have been her. Yet even so...
You think it's possible?
Do you really think it might have been her? A ghost?
A ghost. A remnant of her hopes and memories. Her lingering will to do good. Those things are all possible. Nobody knows for certain what happens after we die. A spirit could have assumed her form, but why? It helped you, as Justinia herself would have.
Does it really matter?
Perhaps it doesn't matter what she really was then.
It matters to me, to what I must write. I must interpret what I saw, yet I am no priest, no philosopher. I am a warrior.
Well, if you ask me, I don't think it was her.
I think it was a spirit, that's all.
Perhaps it saw Justinia's soul, and admired it enough to carry on her wishes. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. When I realized we were physically in the Fade, I was terrified, almost beyond reason. The last time such a thing happened, we created Darkspawn. We created Corypheus. The world needs to know the truth this time. No more legends lost to the ages.
What we learned at Adamant concerns me. The hero Ferelden and I have been together for years. I nearly lost him to the Archdemon. He's looking for a way to stop the calling from taking him, as it does every Grey Warden. But if Corypheus has power over the Wardens, my love could be in danger.
Do you know where he is now?
If you two are still together, why isn't he here?
His quest took him far to the west, to lands that have never known the Blight. But Justinia needed me here. I owed her that much. My love and I are never truly apart. When this is all over, I will join him again. And this time, nothing will come between us.
Has he told you anything so far?
What makes him think he can stop the calling?
It has been done before. Grand Enchanter Fiona was once a warden, but something took all trace of the calling from her. A warden named Avernus also found a way to prolong his life with magic.
Who?
It wasn't much, but enough to stop the hunt. He will find a way. I have faith in him.
Alright, so what do you suggest we do?
What would you like to do?
I do not know where the hero Ferelden is precisely, but I know how to get a message to him. He may have information that helps the Inquisition. At worst, it will do no harm. I will draw up a plan in the war room. Thank you.
Alright. Carry on.
I'll leave you to your work.
Say it.
Planning troop movements now?
I'm trying to imagine what it will look like when we're done. All of this once belonged to the Tevinter Imperium. Andraste changed that, as did the Blights. As for what will come next, I cannot guess the Maker's plan.
Well, we can start by making things better.
We make the world a better place.
Because everyone agrees on what better means. I know I want a world where people trust the Chantry and that trust is respected. I want to respect tradition, but not fear change. I want to right past wrongs, but not avenge them. And I have no idea if my wanting these things makes any of them right.
Well, it's a start.
Even if they're not right, they're certainly admirable.
Some would disagree. They would call it heresy.
That didn't sound like the ravings of a heretic, Cassandra.
Perhaps not. But it takes precious little effort to paint even an act of compassion as damaging. Tell me, what guides you? You make decisions that shake the world, yet always seem so assured. I wish I had your confidence.
You're saying that you admire me?
You almost sound like you admire me.
I absolutely do. I may not always agree with your decisions, but how many could do what you have done? You were a prisoner, accused and reviled, yet you've emerged from every trial victorious. The Maker's grace does not make you immortal. You live or die by your own hand. That is worthy of admiration.
Well, I try to obey my conscience.
I'm guided by what my conscience tells me.
Your conscience must speak more clearly than mine.
I doubt it, but I do my best.
When we first met, if someone told me I would be pleased to have you lead me, I would have throttled them. But I am. The Maker chose well.
Oh yeah? Thank you.
I appreciate that.
We still have a long road to travel, Inquisitor. Wherever it takes us, I'm glad you're here.
Again. Again. Come on! This is why the Qun doesn't like women fighting. I should have asked Cullen. Good one.
Perhaps you can take over.
Qunari training exercise to master your fear. I heard about the nightmare at Adamant. Sounded big.
Yeah, what's this all about?
Can you explain why I'm supposed to hit you with this stick?
Probably, if I try. It'd involve a lot of Qunari words, though. Just hit me with the stick, all right? I need to get over this demon crap.
Your wish is my command.
All right.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Damn, demon. Who's stuck in the fade, huh?
Oh. Yeah, that's right. Let that demon out.
You fought in that siege. Every demon in Adamant wanted to tear you in half.
I bet, you demon assholes! And who killed you? That's right. Iron fucking Bull! I needed that. Thanks, boss.
Sure. So.
And that works for you?
Yep.
All right, then.
All right.
Heard what went on in that Fade thing. What you think went on. Can't even start to believe that business.
Yeah, well, it was a difficult time. for everyone.
I think a lot of people are having trouble with what went on there.
People going on about visions and piss when real people are gone. Dead, probably. Stroud, yeah? Lost a serious mustache there. And in trade, a busted down bunch of wardens. And they're always weird. Usually, bad stuff happens first, so you're glad when the hero shows up. But wardens are the wrong way round. They're the good thing that means a bad thing is about to happen. Like in Denerim, when the Blight ended.
What do you remember about the Blight?
A lot happened in Denerim. What did you see?
People talked a lot about this one warden. There was a big fight and they died, or... I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
The hero of Ferelden. You forget the hero of Ferelden?
That was ages ago. 10 years. I was playing with small painted boxes and burying stuff I stole. I remember more people cringing about magic than Blight. Wardens were an excuse for your stuff to go missing. Blackwall's nice, though. Different from the adamant ones. Need more like him.
Got some new tricks, huh? That flashy stuff, all fire and crap. Good way to throw off an enemy. They get all hung up with you being on fire and miss the part where you stab them in the kidney. If you folks can do tricks like that, you might be closer than we thought to making Gatlock.
Would that be a bad thing?
I heard Qunari guard the secret of making Gatlock pretty closely. Why is that? It's like crossbows and longbows. Longbows are better, no contest, but it takes years to get good with one. Any idiot who can point will do damage with a crossbow. No offense to Varric or Bianca. Gatlock cannons might not be flashy or portable like mage fire, but we can make a lot of them. Any idiot following orders can fire one. Don't have to worry about them getting possessed by demons either.
I see. So you're saying Qunari black powder is similar?
Is what I'm doing that close to Gatlock? No, sorry. I just meant in terms of complexity. Gatlock keeps better than the stuff you make. More reliable, too. You want a cannon to work, reliable is key. Cannons that aren't tend to blow up in your face.
Do Qunari use similar tricks to mine?
Are there Qunari warriors who do what I do? Nah. You know how you put that alchemical crap on your clothes so your skin doesn't catch fire? Imagine trying that when you're not wearing a shirt. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you're careful and all. But I like my nipples uncauterized, thanks.
Alright, Bull. Let's talk about something else.
There was actually another matter I wanted to discuss. What you got?
Tell me about Saharan.
Can you tell me more about Saharan? It was a damn ugly place. Only getting uglier when I left. Between the Fog Warriors, the Talra Shoth, my people, and the Vince. You were lucky to go a day without blood. What do you want to know?
Well, tell me about the natives.
What are things like for the natives of Saharan? I remember one guy. He made these things, fish wrapped in thin bread. Nice guy. Talk to him every morning. So, one time I'm asking about his bad back, and I see he's nervous, trying to tell me something with his eyes. Next thing I know, his assistants draw knives and come at my team. The rebels had forced him to poison my food.
What happened?
And then? I'd seen how nervous he was, so I hadn't eaten anything. A couple of my guys weren't so lucky. We killed the rebels. I lost 2 men to the poison, another to knife wounds. My friend who made the fish wraps died with a knife in his throat. Close quarters fight. He was caught in the middle. That is what things are like for the natives of Saharan.
I see. And these Fog Warriors?
What were the Fog Warriors like? They were the worst of the rebels. They trained for stealth attacks. They made this...
Right, hence the name.
I never saw any mages, so I figured it was alchemy, not magic. They were almost invisible in it. I'd be on patrol in the market square. The fog would roll in, and before I knew it, half my squad dead without a sound.
Huh. That sounds nice.
It almost sounds like you admire them. They didn't use poison. They didn't hurt civilians, and they were damn good fighters. You have to respect that. Plus, they hit the Vince as hard as they hit us. Hearing some terrified magister scream, "My slaves! Where are my slaves?" in the fog always put a smile on my face.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of which...
Tell me about the Tevinter people you fought. The Vince sent forces to Saharan every autumn. Guess they didn't like the summer heat. We had some good fights on the beaches, standing in knee-high water foaming red with blood, ships on fire around us. The cities were worse. Free bit of advice. Don't let the Inquisition forces get suckered into urban combat.
Really? What's so bad about Tevinter?
Why do you hate Tevinter forces so much? What makes them so bad? It's not their armies. It's their spies. They bloodied Saharan year-round, killing loyalists, supporting rebels. Alam had no city administrator. Nobody would accept the position. The last 4 who held it died inside a year. Trying to conquer a country is one thing. Making it so nobody can live there, that just screws everyone.
What about the Tal Vajoth?
Tell me about the Tal Vajoth. When Canary can't handle the fighting in Saharan, or lose faith in the Qun, they go rogue. They flee into the wilderness and turn into bandits, attacking everyone. They're vicious,
Right.
savage. You look at them and you can see why my people needed the Qun to stay civilized.
Really? So you're not Tal Vajoth?
Isn't that what you did, though? Hey, when I burned out, I didn't go rogue. I reported in and went where the Ben Hasrath sent me. I'm doing
Oh, yeah.
job, serving the Qun out here. I'm not some bandit. I am nothing like them.
Alright, Bull. Easy now. I'll see you later.
See you later, Bull. Nice talking with you, boss.
See ya. Hey! Oh. Teleportation, cool.